Guess who went through?
Porto.
Yes. You were in the back. Hi, Gilda.
Gilda.
Okay, I'm just making sure we're going out on YouTube.
Hi.
Then I'll let everybody. Hi, Gilda. Okay, nearly ready to roll. Everything's gone suddenly a little bit slow. I'll let everybody else in as well.
Okay.
Maybe our oh, okay. We are live now on YouTube. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on YouTube and here on the Zoom call as well. And good evening to the Queen of the Visas. We have Gilda with us. We've got Nunu with us. We've got Sarah Davey with us as well. And we'll tell you more about each of their respective companies in just a moment. The first thing I want to do is give my congratulations to Hank Stalika, who's successfully through representing Porto and the north of Portugal. And he will face Jerry at the beginning of July for the final. Jerry, current champion, representing Central Portugal and the best place to live here in Portugal, and he'll be facing Hank, who will be, no doubt be opening a Superbock, his favourite beer, this evening to celebrate his victory. Good job, good effort from Trevor as well. So well done, Trevor. And it was really tight. The voting was exceptionally tight tonight. That kind of Brexit tight, 52-48. It came down to 51-49, would you believe, in the end? But hot news then, hot off the press. Hank through, representing Porto and the north of Portugal, and facing Jerry, Central Portugal, in early July for the final. Let's go to the Queen of the Visas and find out how she's doing in Lisbon this evening. Another beautiful day, I think, in the capital, Gilda.
Yes, in fact, today was very, very warm.
And have you had your hair done? And have you had some kind of no? You're just looking just marvelous anyway.
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
it's because I was running. I went to have dinner with the kids.
Yes.
By the seaside, and then I came home just running. So I was, looking at the sunset, and then I came to do the program. So maybe I still. Yeah,
it's like a stress flush.
Yeah, it's just stress flush.
I recommend it. It's a new thing. We could write a book about it, Gilda. The stress flush brings a lovely sense of vitality to the face. I was thinking more of your hair. I thought you had a new hairstyle.
No, it's the same.
And cute glasses, Gilda, says Connie as well. You're looking fabulous. As is Sarah Davey, of course, from Spartan Effects over in the UK. Good evening to you, Sarah. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. Is it Boataji?
Very good. Well, have you eaten yet?
I have.
I think we can go with the Bonoit in that case. All right. Good effort, though. Good effort. This is Sarah's efforts. We've been helping Sarah learning a bit of Portuguese. So maybe we'll come back to Gilda and Nuno later on in the call with a few more phrases. But how's it going with your first few words of Portuguese, Sarah? Are you excited about it?
I am excited. It's nice to kind of learn, although I got it wrong because I said good afternoon instead of good evening, but when we should be saying things as well.
Perfectly forgivable, though. Perfectly forgivable. And the main thing is you're willing to try. And that goes a long way here in Portugal, in my experience, trying. And Nuno's nodding. And so we'll come back to you because I think things are looking pretty good for the pound and the dollar. And we'd love an update from you on that. Nuno, isn't it great that Sarah's having a go? That's what, 80-20, 80% effort. And you can let the vocab and the grammar come in the other 20%, can't you?
Yes, it's true. Effort is the key. Nevertheless, and as you know, and Sarah knows, I just love the British accent that Sarah has. Okay. She speaks English, so keep talking English.
Okay, fair enough. If ever you need that excuse, Nuno says I don't need to speak Portuguese. Okay, brilliant. And how are you this evening, Nuno?
All good. Finally in Lisbon.
Oh, you're back home, are you, in the capital?
Yes. Today, this afternoon.
Excellent stuff. So all of the wedding and the honeymoon and is in the rearview mirror now, and you're back at the office and behind your regular desk by the sound of it.
Correct.
Wonderful. Okay, well, great to have you here. Nuno, of course, from Winsurance. Any questions at all about insurance, any aspect of insurance here in Portugal? Nuno's here to specifically answer that. And he's a very special man with a very special company. You can see they're building community, building trust. Winsurance are outstanding in the field of insurance here in Portugal. Great guy, great team, and an amazing set of products and services. So any questions about insurance, Nuno is your man this evening. We'll come back to Sarah for a currency update, but let's start with Gilda and the world of migration, immigration, and estrangeiros coming into Portugal. How's it looking, Gilda?
Well, everything is fine. Everything remains the same. We are now dealing with some doubts. I think that we already talked about this last time about the digital nomads. Because I think that the government now wants to make them pay Social Security here, which may have some. It makes some sense, but the only thing is that they were not that clear when the law came up, and now they are trying to turn things in that way. So it's like that they took a measure and they didn't think about the consequences, and they were criticized about it by many people, and now they are trying to fix it by making the digital nomads paying Social Security. So these kind of resident permits have been a little bit on hold until they try to figure out what kind of article they are going to put on the residency card. Okay, but it looks like that if you have if you're a digital nomad and you have a work contract, they are willing to put the Article 88, which is the same article that they put for the manifestação de interesse when they have a work contract. And if they are a digital nomad and they show at the consulate a contract of rendering services contract or independent workers, they tend to put in the residency card the Article 89, the same that they put in the manifestação de interesse when they are independent workers. Okay, and that's quite a lot of sort of technical language there that people might not immediately understand, but the interesting thing here is that there may be a request to join the social security system. And the context for that is fantastic, amazing, Gilda. Apparently there are 750,000 foreign workers in Portugal, aren't there? We're talking about a population here of 10.5 million. I read in one of the papers that there are 750,000 foreign workers. And clearly the government of Portugal is seeing that social security income is a very considerable income. And is that part of the thinking? Okay, well, let's have the digital nomads in that as well. Yes, that is. Amazing. So incredible receipts from Social Security. And you're expecting that, are you? Pretty much 100% that it might go as a Social Security request for digital nomad applicants in the near future? Yes, I am. Okay. And we'll, of course, be talking more about that. It will be a digital nomad special next Thursday evening on the Expats Portugal webinar. So we may see you then, or a colleague of yours, next Thursday evening to talk more about that. Any other aspects of CEF and their work that we should be aware of this week? No, not at all. Everything remains the same. Okay. All right, good to know. And we'll come back to you because the questions are coming in about D7s. Thank you very much for Shika for your question, for Noor,
We have Kasun Shamara as well over on YouTube. And do please get your questions in over here on the chat in Zoom as well, where we'll go first and foremost to Connie, who has a question of you, saying hi from Banff. It's a beautiful part of the world, isn't it? Banff National Park in the Canadian Rockies. To you, Nunu, when should I contact you to arrange the travel insurance for the D7 application? So timescale, getting in touch with you about D7 applications and insurance.
Yeah, so basically, and I just answered Connie. Thank you for asking. So basically it's up with you. So anytime, just email us to imsafe@insurance.pt or contact me through WhatsApp. It's my mobile phone number, which also WhatsApp. So at anytime.
The direct line to the man himself is in the chat for you there, Connie. Thank you for being here this evening. And like with many parts of this process of moving to Portugal, sooner rather than later, establish the conversation, and then the subsequent procedure can fall out of that. But you would recommend that to people, get in touch at their convenience, and there's no better way to just make the call and make the connection and get a relationship started. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, Connie. Fantastic. All right. Let's go to Sarah then. Before we come back to those visa questions with you, Queen of the Visas that are coming through on YouTube. Sarah, not getting anywhere near parity. That was a really special moment, wasn't it? A few months back, parity with the dollar and the euro, but the dollar looking stronger, at least for the time being. Can you give us a bit of an update?
Respite, a bit of positivity, which is great. And that's for anyone in America, Canada, UK. It's all looking good at the moment. We've seen, certainly if we look at sort of the US dollar and selling US dollars and buying euros, in May, the difference between the beginning of May and now is about 4.3%. So if you were buying about 250,000 euros, that difference is about 12,000 US dollars. So it's quite significant. Really, the main things behind it is that there's a little bit more optimism about the economic growth in the US, despite the banking crisis we saw a couple of months ago. And the main thing which really has impacted even across the board is really that Germany has entered into a recession. Also as well, last year, which is why we saw the parity, is that the Fed were raising interest rates very aggressively. And what we saw this year is that they weren't going to do that. But now they've come out and said that they may increase interest rates in the summer, which is against expectations, which has strengthened the US dollar as well. So as a result, we've seen a little bit of reversal, which is great news if you're looking to buy euros. The other thing to bear in mind is that when the rate hit parity last year, we had a lot of customers buy euros. We've been holding those euros on account for people for about 6 to nearly 12 months now. So even people that are sat there thinking, I'm not moving for quite some time, there's still no reason to think about, should I be buying my euros? Because generally the long-term trend is that it is moving against you. So it may be still worthwhile just thinking about it and thinking what that means to your budgets, essentially.
Okay, 12 grand is worth having, though, isn't it? So,
absolutely.
Same conversation, perhaps, or same advice as Nuna was suggesting. Start a relationship early. Don't leave it too long or too late. Get in touch with Spartan FX. Open up your free account and get chatting about the advantageous times. And the team at Spartan FX will keep you informed of what's going on. You'll be making your own sovereign choice, of course. You'll be taking responsibility for your own decision about when to buy, but you'll certainly get some good insight and input from the Spartan FX team. All the details are there to be emailed or called, and also on the Expats Portugal Business Directory. So for the time being, Sarah, thank you very much indeed. Let's go to Gilda then, and we have a question from Mehmet. Good evening, Mehmet. It's great to have you here. Hi, everybody. Good evening, Gilda. You used the word hold. Does that mean CEF did put all D8 applications on hold and will not be processing for an unknown amount of time since the social security issue is resolved? So are they waiting on this social security matter? Are things on hold? Mehmet is asking.
No. What they are doing, the visa process are not on hold.
Right.
They are processing the visa process.
Okay.
What they are putting, some CEF office, what they are putting on hold is when they receive the residence permit process.
Yeah.
But to issue the card, they are holding the issuing of the cards, because they are still deciding which article, which under each article they want to put in the residency card.
Okay, there you go. Nothing to worry about,
Yes.
Mehmet, apart from the usual processing times, but no holds because of that particular issue of Social Security. But a great question, Mehmet. Tune in, please, next Thursday night for the Expats Portugal webinar, specifically about the D8 Digital Nomad Visa. Tom Smith on the matter of currency, also of note, says, Tom, good evening to you. The debt ceiling bill cleared the House of Representatives in the United States yesterday. It is expected to clear the Senate as well and will be signed this weekend. So no debt. Is that connected with the debt default, isn't it? So that's not going to be happening by the sound of it. And all is well in the United States for the time being, with the strength of the dollar, perhaps. So thank you very much, Tom. So much time was wasted faffing about with the debt ceiling, says Wilson. I think fellow Americans not happy about that process there. Let's stay with you, Gilda. Hello, sorry for the long post. No problem, Shika. Let's get into your question now. 3 parts. I am applying for a D7 with my son only, and today I got this letter from VFS and I have 10 days to respond. Para ser desfavorável dos serviços competentes, part 1, and please don't laugh too much at my pronunciation here, Nunu and Gilda. You're laughing behind your hand there, Gilda. I can thank you, Nunu, for your encouragement. Not so much with Gilda, I'm thinking at the moment. Let's see how I proceed with the next bit then. It mentions some laws, numbers. Now, apresentar autorização do pai para residir em PT, nem a matrícula em estabelecimento de ensino. Shika, how could you do this to me? I've already submitted a travel authorization signed by the father at the Portuguese embassy. So this is where, when someone is moving with one of their children and the approval rubber stamp from the other parent, I'm guessing, he signed the application form at VFS, and I submitted a stamped school enrollment letter when I applied before. What should I do? What other documents can I provide? Is that what that's about, Gilda? Is this about when one parent is traveling with a child and you need authorization from the other parent?
Yes. Sometimes, well, it's always very difficult. The consulates make it difficult when one parent try to get a visa without the other, and we are talking about minors.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to know if this authorization was duly notarized, and if they are divorced, if she has put the divorce agreement, the copy of the divorce agreement, which is also important.
Okay. All
but
right.
It's very important that the letter, the signatures are notarized, as well as the identification of the father.
Very good.
Also, the letter of the enrollment of the school. I don't know if it's a letter stamped, what it is, but it should be as formal as possible. If she already did all that, it's sometimes they play like they haven't seen the documents. So she has to write to the VFS and say, please check my documentation, because these documents were already there, and then attach them again with this letter.
Okay. All right.
Within the time frame that they give her.
So quite a lot of paperwork to be done there, but you can understand why, of course, when it comes to bringing children into the country. So, Shika, I hope that helps there. If you need any further clarification, just ask. Please do. Okay, let's stay in YouTube for just a moment here and go to Noor. A classic question for you, Gilda. Boa noite. You always talk about how long can someone stay outside of Portugal on the first 2 years residence card. What about the second card that's valid for 3 years? Is it 12 months in total or 8 as well?
Well, the rule applies the same for the second resident permit.
Right.
Because what the law says is that it's a for resident permit. So it is regardless the resident permit is for 2 years or for 3 years. So this means that for each resident permit, you can stay out of the country 6 months in a row or 8 months if interpolated.
Yeah. There you go. I hope that helps, Noor. Thank you very much. It's a bit of a classic, that, isn't it? And something to get your head around mathematically. Connie, so purchasing the insurance 1 week before I send in my D7 package to the consulate will be okay. It looks like, right, Nuno?
Yes, it will be okay. But what we ask always is that if you can avoid put us under pressure, we'll appreciate a lot. So
right.
If you can handle that with time, we appreciate. If it's something urgent, like 1 day, yes, we can do this also in the same day. But it's more on a heavy, on a busy team already.
Based on your experience, and I see Camilla from your team is here. If you want to say hi, Camilla, and if people, if you think people would like to meet you, Camilla, I'm sure they would. But if you're happy to be put on the spot, come and say hi at some point during the call. Camilla from Winsurance is with us tonight. But what's your sweet spot, Nunu? You say you can do it in a day if someone's really desperate, and we appreciate that. But what's the sweet spot? Is it about a week out good?
Yes, a week is okay. It was okay. We can do that with on the same day because the insurers really rely on what we are doing, and even if we don't have everything according to their requirements, they allow us to pass the certificates. We have actually only one situation that the client was on a hurry and he needed to right away, and in the end, well, he didn't pay, so we need to cancel and inform everyone that the certificates are no longer valid. So yes, we do what we can to provide you everything that you need for the meetings, with CEF or the consulate or VFS. But if you can start working on that with at least 1 week, we'll appreciate a lot.
That's great. And sorry to see that your goodwill wasn't reciprocated by that particular person. What a shame, but it happened.
We know that sometimes happens. It's part of life.
You're so philosophical, Nunu. That's what we love about you. Thank you very much. Gail, thank you, Nunu, Camilla, and Elaine at Winsurance for helping us with our D7 travel visa insurance. I think it's a testimonial here. And after, to prep for homeowners insurance next and private health later. They answered our many questions, and D7 visa policy certificate was very quick to receive too. So thank you for that feedback, Gail. That's wonderful. Cheers. And there you are in New Mexico, I believe, this evening. And EI is getting us prepped tomorrow for our D7 San Francisco appointment as well next Thursday. Also doing a great job for us. That's fantastic, Gilda. Let's come back to you then and ask the question from Kasun.
Gail always say that because for me not to feel jealous, because she was she
aware of a disturbance in the force?
No, because
right, yeah, I see that.
because she was saying so many good things about Nunu, which of course he's great.
Yeah, and
then she was like, "Oh, Gilda is here also. Let me say she's been great also."
I saw that. Yeah. What about Sarah? Or have you not started working with Sarah yet? Okay. And Connie,
I'm kidding, Gail. I make lots of jokes.
Kind of. All right. Let's go back to YouTube. Still no update. Oh, I'm sorry to hear this, Kasun. Shamara, still no update from the consulate, waiting more than 4 months. Tried to contact the consulate for the last 3 to 4 weeks. Then I hired an EI lawyer to get in touch. I trust EI, and so you should. actually, I want to hire Gilda, but to assign it to someone else. Anyway, still no update from the consulate from the EI, and that's at Abu Dhabi. Anything to say about Abu Dhabi? And also, we need to address that, don't we? I mean, people see you on the screen and they say, that's the woman I want representing me. We want Gilda. We want Gilda. But it's a team effort at EI, isn't it?
Yes, but I must say that I've been a lot these times on the field.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been getting these emails. I've been watching the show for 4 years, and the show has been started 3 years. Okay, and I want a consultation with Gilda and Gilda only.
Wow.
And I say, okay.
So how do you deal with that? I mean, you know, like I said, it's a team effort, isn't it? I mean, yes, of course, you're the principal and you drive EI and lead it. And then you can understand why, as the face of EI, people want to work directly with you. But, you know, it's a whole team of people there, all equally able, right, in this regard.
Yes, but what I try to do is I see all the emails that go to Geral. I see them. Of course, that I have a staff that replies to all of them. But when I see that it's something direct to me, and if I have time, I try to make time to have a meeting with that person.
Okay, excellent to hear. Excellent to hear.
And also when things are more complicated, my team comes to me, and we also have a meeting about visas all the time, so that we can discuss the difficulties that everyone is having, and we try to sort things out.
Very good.
But yes, that's how I deal. But I still most of the times I still know every client and almost everyone.
Rest assured, Gilda has the oversight there, and we'll be keeping an eye on things from that perspective. But she's not falling for it when anyone says, "I've been watching the show for 4 years," because we've only been working together for 3. Good effort, but she's not going to get past her.
But I want to know who is this person, because I want to take notes from Abu Dhabi.
All right, you will be looking out in that case, I believe, for Kasun Shamara, and I'll make sure you get that as well, Gilda. Okay, we go to Kiran. Hi, I'm from Dubai. I have started my D2 investor process from local consulting company here in Dubai. It's been 3 months and they keep delaying my process, saying bank account is taking time. Can you just give us a little bit of an overview on the D2 investor process before we answer that specifically, please, Gilda?
Well, for the D2, the company bank account works faster, and they open it faster, much faster than the personal bank account. So, okay. I don't know what they are actually waiting for.
Yep.
If they are talking about the company bank account or the personal bank account.
Right. Okay. It's difficult to say then, isn't it? Obviously.
However, you must see if you are hiring a company from Dubai, you need to check if they are 100% aware of the requirements of the D2, because the D2 is not as easier as D7. It has much more details.
And this is for people who are investing and starting businesses, the D2,
yes.
Right? Okay. All right. Well, yes, I imagine you've taken that point there, Kiran. And maybe a call to EI is in order to compare notes and perhaps get a second opinion on that. Not for us to take apart the work of other professionals based in Dubai, but you've had a sort of overview insight there, and it shouldn't be taking that long with a company account necessarily. But there may be other factors involved, so a call to EI I think would be a great idea. We've reached the halfway mark when, of course, whilst I stay with you and ask you the question about a little Mandela. How is he this week?
He's fine. He went out with the kids. He went to visit the grandmother.
Oh, how lovely.
So
he gets spoiled over there, presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Grandma spoils little Mandela. I've got a feeling. I mean, and I'm thinking like no news is good news.
Oh, yeah, but one thing very important. Mandela turned 2 years old today.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Happy birthday, parabéns to you, Mandela. Please pass that on from the entire team here.
I will.
Of course, we've been talking about him this evening. Jerry, especially, a big fan of Mandela. I think he's got to that point in his life where he's matured a little bit. I always used to think, if it was quiet, he was up to something behind the scenes. He'd be eating somebody's sock or plastic toy or cable tie found in the park. But I just think he's growing up. So good lad, Mandela, and happy second birthday to you, my boy. Great. All right, good news.
I don't know. He ate my Christmas present.
Oh, okay. So I've said all of that, and now I discovered that he has eaten your Christmas present. In June, Gilda, how has that happened?
No, before.
Oh, at Christmas.
Yes.
Okay, he was a toddler back then.
No, it's only. I only had my present for 5 days, and then it's gone. Okay.
So I sense the mood and atmosphere is changing. I'm going to move on. Okay. Dottie complimenting me actually in my Portuguese. Good on you. I'm so envious. Well, thank you very much, Dottie. And Connie asks of you, Sarah, when locking in favorable exchange rates, how long will Spartan hold the rate if the dollars haven't been transferred to my Spartan account? Good question. Thank you, Connie.
Okay, well, I suppose there's two ways to answer it. One is if you haven't sent any money to us, we can still lock the exchange rate. We give you about 2 days to pay, but if you're having any issues, do speak to us, and there may be ways that we can extend that, which is another good thing, that we can be certainly more flexible than if you were dealing with a solely online company. The other option that you have as well is that if you didn't have all the money available or couldn't get all the money available straight away, you can fix the exchange rate with a 10% deposit. So this is quite useful for property purchases. You agree to buy a property, but completion can be 6 to 12 weeks time. You can lock the rate in today for that future payment and just pay us 10% of the amount that you need to transfer. It's not a cost or a charge, just fixes the rate. We buy all the currency up front for you, and then when you need it, you pay us the remaining 90%, and then all the money gets sent out on the date that you need it, and we can fix it up to 12 months as well with that.
Great stuff. Okay, another good reason to set up a free account and get chatting with Spartan. Thank you for that, Sarah. Great news. Let's go to Mari Bella. I'm back to you, Gilda. We might have spoken to you last week, but it's still a good point to discuss. I got or maybe we ran out of time. I got a 2-year residence permit in Portugal, and I want to apply for a student visa in Spain. From the Portuguese authorities' point of view, am I allowed to hold 2 residencies in the EU at the same time if I stay less than 8 months out of Portugal? What do you make of that, Gilda? 2 visas at the same time?
She has a residency permit in Portugal.
Yep.
She can ask for a student visa in Spain.
From the Portuguese government?
Yes, from the Portuguese government, as long as that student visa is not a residency visa.
Right. Okay.
It's going to be like a temporary stay visa for, let's say, 1 year maximum. It's the during of her studies. Then it's not a residency permit. She will keep her residency permit in Portugal, and she will apply in Portugal for a visa in Spain.
Okay,
that is possible. What is not possible is she has a residence permit in Portugal, and she's going to apply for a residence permit in Spain. Well, in theory, when she goes to Spain, they are not going to ask for her residence permit, and they are not going to destroy. But it's not legal to have a residency permit in 2 different countries.
There you go, Mari. I hope that explains. And possibly we did address this, and we ran out of time, or it wasn't clear. And this is what happens every week. We're 23 minutes out of our finishing time, and we will have. I have a special question for Nunu and Gilda on Sarah's behalf that we'll finish with this evening. But this is what happens: the questions start flying in the last few minutes, and we don't get to them all. So don't be shy. Do please ask your questions straight away. Gail saying we have the dream team all the way on this change of life experience to move to Portugal and confidence in them too. That's fantastic, Gail. Thank you for that. Mari, I hope that helps you. Kiran is saying, please explain so that I can take some decisions with this agency. I think we've done our best there with Dubai and with the D2 Kiran. And what I would suggest is giving EI a call tomorrow. And Tish is here as well. Hola, long-time listener, first-time caller. Love that. We are applying for a D7 in the spring of 2024 in Washington, D.C. Will a 6-month or 12-month lease be required? Who knows by spring 2024, right, Gilda?
We are almost there. 9 months.
9 months. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
isn't it?
Okay, so there you go. D7 9-month lease will be required. You think?
No. What? Sorry, we are almost there in spring.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's rewind that whole bit there, because the word would have gone around the visa world that suddenly they only need a 9-month visa.
No.
No. It's 9 months away, the spring of 2024. That's my bad, isn't it? Thinking that it's a long way away. It's 2024 sounds like science fiction to me.
Yeah, but no.
But you're right. It is only
It will be in 9 months.
That's right. And do you think then in those 9 months and come spring of 2024, we'll probably still be looking at a 12-month lease, won't we?
Yes, I'm sure.
It's unlikely that it's going to reduce, right? I mean, it's been going up, hasn't it? It was an Airbnb invoice before. Now it's 12 months. It's not going to be coming down, is it?
No.
Okay, so sorry.
But it's not going to be higher also. Because
why do you say that? What makes
because it's not going to be legal if they do that.
Okay, so in 9 months, then I think I'm deducing from what you're saying there. In 9 months, it's unlikely that they would be able to put that into the law in such a short space of time.
No.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Thank you for becoming a member of Expats Portugal. The person who did that, it's a bit difficult to see from my screen, but you know who you are, and we thank you very much for joining Expats Portugal as a member. It was Nathan. Thank you, Nathan, so much. Much appreciated. Let's get back to Dawood's question. I have my company incorporated in the US while I live in Pakistan. Most of my funds are in the company account, while I send only 1,000 to my personal account in Pakistan. Can I just submit my company bank statement for those for showing income there instead of the personal bank statement?
No, you always need to show both.
Always need to show both there, Dawood. Okay. Nathan, who just became a member. I'm a member via the website. How do I ask a question? I have a D8. I'm asking it for you now, Nathan. I have a D8 question. I wish to find out if I submit a 12-month lease that will enable me to get a 2-year residence permit when I go to the CEF appointment.
Yes, it will.
Okay, and for further clarification, of course, you can ask questions on the forum, and our special next Thursday evening will be the D8 visa with Gilda and team. The company account receives more than 6,000 every month. So, Dawood, you'll need to show both of those by the sound of it. I hope that answers your question. Lily Rose, when applying for the citizenship after 5 years, what is the total maximum duration that I can stay outside of Portugal to be eligible for citizenship? Some say that an average of only 2 months per year. Well, you become a citizen. You're free to move as you wish, aren't you?
Can you please
let me do that again. When applying for the citizenship after 5 years, what is a total maximum duration that I can stay outside of Portugal to be eligible for citizenship? Some say that an average of only 2 months per year. Now, is Lily Rose asking while they're waiting for the citizenship to come in, or once they've become a citizen? I wonder. Do you think
I think he's asking before he becomes a citizen.
Okay. All right. So what can you do in that time whilst you're waiting?
There are 2 things. So while you are waiting, you are in you renewed on the 6th year your residence permit again for 3 years, and you need to stick with the rule of the 6 months in a row, 8 months interpolated in the 3 years, or you applied to the permanent residence permit, and then you don't need to stick with that rule. But if you go that far, I wouldn't worry that much. If you go that far and then you submit your citizenship application, I wouldn't be worried that much, because when they look at the rules of staying inside, it's mostly when you turn from the first to the second renewal.
Right. Okay. Lynn is asking a similar question, but I think it's been answered there, Lynn, for you as well. Again, as I say, with many of the responses that Gilda gives, and not many people do seek further clarification, because Gilda is so spot on and clear with her answers. But if it's not clear anything, do feel free to ask again. We've got about 17 minutes to go on this Dream Team session tonight. We'll be back every Thursday, of course, at 9 o'clock. Lots of lovely chat going on in the Zoom as well. That's people making friends with each other, which is a really important part of this journey, and something we're very proud of at Expats Portugal, how people work with each other, of course, as well in the community. Hank is here, victorious Hank from earlier on. And it's partially Gilda's fault, whatever happens in the finals. I'm not sure what he's referring to there. You don't have an influence in whether Central Portugal will beat Porto or not, do you, Gilda? And you may not wish to share
I don't know. Ask Hank.
Ask Hank. Okay, Hank, what do you mean? If there's Superboc involved, that might be part of it. Olá, Gilda, are we working with Marianne in Porto for the D7? How should I contact her prior to submitting my D7 application? So how does Connie stay in touch with Marianne?
I was about to write her a message. So I think that she should drop her an email to talk with her about the deadlines.
Right. Okay, there you go. Sumin Kim is coming back with the social security matter on the D8. Gilda, how long do you think it will take for social security taxes to be implemented for the digital nomad visa? I have a CEF appointment on July the 12th. Obrigada, and happy birthday, Mandela, as well, from Sumin Kim. Do you think these social security changes are going to happen before July the 12th? Basically, I think it's the question, isn't it?
I think that you are going to save and everything might be okay, or they can tell you that okay, this may take a little bit longer for you to get the card because you are waiting for instructions about which article to put in the card. But I think that these measures about social security are going to be implemented pretty soon. Okay, there you go, Kumin, and I hope that's helpful. Hank saying, haven't thanked you in a while, Gilda. Thank you. You're welcome. That's always a pleasure. I think he's slipped out of a weekly thank you and gone to monthly, hasn't he? So you could do better, actually, Hank. So yes, there's your weekly thank you there, right there, for Gilda. Thank you, Nathan, again for becoming a premium member of Expats Portugal. Appreciate that. And Mr. S, I'm going to return to one of your questions as we conclude tonight. It's a great question. And you're saying DC requires only 6 months as of now. Gilda, you tend to err on the side of making absolutely sure rather than sort of skinching through with requirements. DC, is that what Mr. S is talking about? DC requiring only 6 months? Is that on the tenancy agreement? And you're saying go for 12 anyway, just to avoid any problems? Well, it depends. I advise always to go with 12 because it will depend. The consulates and the VFS sometimes just take the process and they can accept it the way they are or not. As you heard here tonight, that lady got a letter from the VFS saying that the documents were not accepted. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the other way around can happen. the consulate can accept the process, like with the 6 months lease agreement. But when it goes to someone in CEF to be analyzed, they can say, no, we don't accept.
Okay.
So I always say, submit a 12 lease agreement, because like that, we are sure it's not going to be a problem. It's not going to be denied.
Yeah, there you go. That's the reasoning, and we take your point there, Mr. S. But there's Gilda's reasoning there. Hi team. So I want to buy a car via leasing, but they say I need at least a 3-year residency. Is there another option? Because I'll only get a 2-year residency first, and I'll be on a D8. Car leasing, it's a general point. I don't know if Jerry wants to come in on this as well. Have you heard anything about this, Gilda, about the requirement? I mean, it's a little bit outside your scope, isn't it? Car leasing. Nunu might have a view on it as well. Jerry, what's your view on this? The problem, of course, people haven't got a credit record, have they?
That's the problem. If you don't have a credit rating, it can be difficult. If you own a property in Portugal, that can help a lot. And or if you have other ways of demonstrating that you have sufficient funds, or in some cases, if you're prepared to deposit a certain proportion of the payment, maybe the first year or something like that. I might be able to help, but these things are always looked at on an individual level. If that person would like to contact me, I can introduce him to someone who might be able to help with leasing a vehicle. There are some new options coming through now where nearly new vehicles can be leased also, and the pricing is better, and I think the sort of restrictions are a bit freer in terms of those. So contact me directly, drop me an email. My address is there, and I'll do what I can to help.
That's great to know. Jerry at expatsportugal.com for you, Nathan, then. That sounds like it might be a solution, or at least a clarifying situation for you to get to the bottom of that. And sorry to hear you're having challenges. Going back to you, Gilda, and this citizenship issue, Lily Rose has come back to us. Just to clarify, I mean, how long can I be outside of Portugal during the 5 years prior to applying for the citizenship? Okay. While on the 2nd and 3rd years cards, some say I can go out an average of 2 months. Well, it's a bit more than that, isn't it, Gilda? She's just, have we got Mandela barking there? Is that why you're muted up? Or are you going to write things down and hold them up to the camera? We're playing some sort of game now. Gilda is writing something down, and I've got to guess what it is in Portuguese. I'm not playing that game, Gilda. Right. Okay.
I was trying to use my calculator.
Oh, I see. Oh, sorry. I should have known. Okay. You're doing the complex calculations, aren't you, of the amount of time?
Yes.
Yes. All right. I'm so sorry. We're hearing the workings out.
I feel too much pressure.
Too much pressure. Too much pressure. It's like being on a game show, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, you've got 30 seconds, Gilda. Do you want a countdown? It's not going to help, is it?
Oh, come on.
I'll just shut up. Okay. Let me read.
This doesn't work on average. You need to see on the first 2 years. You need to see that it's 8 months interpolated. So 8 months interpolated in 12 months. This makes in 24 months. This doesn't make 2 months on average.
Oh, that's right. I don't know where this 2 months is coming from. That's far too little, isn't it?
Yeah.
As a time out of the country. So not sure where that's coming from. And as ever, a call to clarify this with EI would be a good idea. Find the number in the Expats Portugal Business Directory there. That's you.
So if you have so many ins and outs, you should keep an Excel file. No, this is not to laugh about. I have many clients that do this.
Wow.
They have they keep an Excel file with the records of the ins and outs.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that they don't have problems. So this might be your case if you are so worried about the ins and outs.
That's very interesting, isn't it? So you arrive at immigration, and you start getting asked questions. Say, I've got an Excel spreadsheet actually, and a PowerPoint, and they say it's okay. No, just go through. It's fine. Right, very good.
No, but if you go to SEF, to renew it, sometimes it can be helpful.
Yeah, of course. No, I am being frivolous, but you are making a serious point there, and it's the way, isn't it, of these things, is to keep records. And if you appear to be someone, if you are somebody who's kept records, and SEF can see that, they know they're dealing with somebody who's, earnest and serious about meeting the requirements. So great advice there. Spark up an Excel spreadsheet for that. Lily Rose, hope that helps. And the Global Nobles are here this evening. Great to see you. And there was
they went to SEF.
Yes. Okay.
I wasn't supposed to say.
They might have gone to SEF, the Global Nobles, whoever else we've been talking about in the last 10 minutes. We don't know. So Global Nobles are saying that and I've lost the question, but it was along the lines of they've got friends applying in 2024, I think, or maybe 2025. And they're worried about the longevity of the D7 visa, Gilda. We have friends looking to apply for the D7 visa late 24, early 25. Do you have any concern that the D7 visa will go away by then?
I don't know.
We don't know, do we? So advice being what? To apply earlier rather than later?
Yes.
Why wait? Yeah, okay. I hope that helps Global Nobles. Both Greg and I are now official Portuguese residents. Hey, guess what? They went to SEF. Both Greg and I are now official Portugal residents, thanks to EI. Big thank you to Gilda, Christina, Anna, Carla, Philippa, and Constancia. That's a lovely moment, isn't it? A wonderful news, Global Nobles. We could not have done it without you. Forever grateful to EI. You'll have to join the queue behind Hank to be grateful to EI on a regular basis. Fantastic stuff. Back to you, Nuno, before we finish with an important question that came from Mr. S and is going to be of help to Sarah this evening. Nuno, this the insurance, people using the rent insurance to secure an apartment. What are the users saying about it? How's it going so far?
So we need to think that this insurance, what it really do is to give peace of mind to the landlord. The main objective of the landlord is to get the rent. So this insurance, it eases the process of the lease contract because the landlord stays with a guarantee that if the tenant doesn't pay, the insurer will pay the rent.
So it's working, but the landlords like the sound of it, and no doubt including the landlords who will be found through Casa Portuguesa. That sounds like a great partnership, Casa Portuguesa, EI, and insurance. So there's no reason why that wouldn't all work together, right, Gilda, with Casa Portuguesa, which we haven't mentioned for a little while. I'm guessing you're nice and busy with Casa Portuguesa at the moment as well.
No, it's because we had some concurrence, some concurrence here.
What's that? I'm not sure what that means.
Competitors?
Competitors, yes.
Oh, okay.
And I felt very the English didn't come out.
Okay. The English
shy.
is
I felt
shy.
very shy because of that.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
But today I can talk about Casa
Please
Portuguesa.
sing the praises of Casa Portuguesa.
Casa Portuguesa is a wonderful company.
Yeah.
And we work as a buyer agent, and also we find places to rent if you want to come to Portugal, and we can find places to rent before you come to Portugal.
How lovely. And can you sing Casa Portuguesa in the way that Amalia would sing it?
No.
That's not part of the service being offered tonight. And nor will I, you'll be glad to hear. But that's wonderful. Check out Casa Portuguesa, of course, in the Expats Portugal Business Directory as well. And I mean, it's a beautiful song, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It really does sum up the spirit of Portugal when you hear Amalia singing Casa Portuguesa. Worth looking up on Spotify, I believe, but not yet. We've got a few minutes to go, and we've got a couple more questions to cover. For Gilda, does the Social Security, and I just moved because another question's come in. Does the Social Security payment apply to family members? Good question, as well as the main applicant. Who's it for in the group that are coming to Portugal?
It's only for the person that has made the application, and that has declared that he's working in the other country.
Primary resident. Then let's say, continues Mehmet, we had our CEF appointment successfully and waiting for the residency card. If our 4 months visa is finished and still waiting for the residency card, will we be allowed to travel inside the Schengen area? That's a tricky one, isn't it? Technically, yes, right? Traveling inside the Schengen area, if the residency cards, people do find themselves in this situation, don't they? They don't get their cards and they want to travel. So they are legally allowed to, but if they haven't got the card, that could pose a problem at some border controls.
Well, I wouldn't advise them to travel, because if they don't have the card, unless they are still with their Schengen visa or within their tourist time, I wouldn't advise them to travel without the residency permit.
But it's still possible you can be without the card, right? And wanting to travel, but your advice is not to.
It is possible. In that case, you should come with the receipt and the letter from the lawyer explaining why you are doing it. But it will depend on the good will of the migration authorities of the other country.
And that is an awkward situation to be in sometimes, as some people have discovered. Okay, last question then from Barak. And I think you've answered it already. Very good, Gilda. Once you've moved, applied for the D7 and it is in progress.
I just spelled it wrong because today I'm not.
The Schengen. But I think we understand.
No, and the no for now. I will,
All right, let's see what the question was before we go to Schengen, rhyming with penguin. Once you've moved, applied for the D7, and it is in progress, once you receive your residency, is there a limit on the amount of time you can be out of the country, such as travel around Europe on vacation? So, Gilda, over to you.
Well, you should stick with that rule that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Although inside the Schengen area, they don't have at the moment mechanisms how to prove the ins and outs.
Yeah.
So for now, people are traveling without needing to be worried about that within the Schengen area.
All right, I'm going to squeeze some quickies in here and some comments. Casa Portuguesa found us our first apartment and they were fantastic, says Hank. My favorite, Amalia singing Uma Casa Portuguesa tugs at the heartstrings. It is well worth a listen. And I think you can see black and white videos of films made that go with it as well. Very beautiful. Connie saying, muito obrigado to Sarah, Nuno and Gilda for sharing your time and expertise with us. Just one more question for you. Then actually two. One from Nathan and then one from me. Thanks, Gilda and Jerry. One more question for the D8. Do I need a NIF and bank account for the CEF appointment? I have my 4-month visa now with an appointment in July. We always need the NIF and the bank account.
Yes, you do need the NIF and the bank account for the CEF appointment.
Very easily dealt with. Jeannie, good evening to you. Thank you both for posting this. It's a pleasure. Oh, and Allegra, if you have citizenship, can you travel into Schengen countries without visas? If you have citizenship, you can, right?
Of course, you can do with the citizenship, you can do whatever you want.
Pretty much. Okay. You can demand a pastel de nata in any European capital once you've got. We're only joking.
You can even vote.
All right. You can't really demand a pastel. Well, you can demand a pastel de nata, but you might not necessarily get one. Although you should. I would have that. If I were the president, I would certainly be making that happen. Gilda, Nuno, thank you very much. Now, I'm saying thank you very much to you two because we're helping Sarah learn Portuguese. And this is the final question of the evening. First of all, from Mr. S. What does EI stand for? And this is something I've been messing up in those 4 years that we've been working together, which are actually only 3, Gilda. It actually should be pronounced A, shouldn't it? And E and I stand for emigrant.
You know.
Do, don't
Come
I?
on, Carl, you know.
I don't. It slipped my mind completely. It was like you when you're on your calculator. The pressure's just too much. I've buckled under the strain here, Gilda. EI, please explain to us the word play, the pun, and what was behind the name E, capital E, small I, exclamation mark.
Okay, so the idea is when the company was born, there were many Portuguese that were abroad. So we started by rendering services for the Portuguese that were living abroad. But we thought that this might be also be useful for the future, and this was my vision, that many foreigners in the future might want to come to Portugal. So those were the immigrants. Those that come in are the immigrants. Those Portuguese that go out are the immigrants.
Yes.
So we started with the services for the immigrants, but I saw that maybe because this works in circles, we wanted to have in the name also the immigrants. So we got to this name,
Hey, like the Fonz on Happy Days. Absolutely.
Isn't
brilliant.
it wonderful? I love it.
I love it as well. And hats off to you for your vision and seeing that. Because as you say, you started out with Portuguese people.
And you know what? At the time, everybody said to me, Gilda, who wants to come to Portugal? Come on. Who wants to come to Portugal? Look at us. Who wants to come to Portugal?
Gilda,
and I said, no, Portugal is wonderful.
Yep, geniuses have to get. I'm not that I would know anything about this, but geniuses have to get used to that sort of criticism from people. So long may that continue. And anyone who's sensible will be asking Gilda what her next brilliant idea is, but she probably won't tell us. My question then for you, Gilda and Nuno, is we're helping Sarah learn some Portuguese. We started with obrigada, bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite. Can you both give Sarah a phrase or a little bit of Portuguese insight, cultural or linguistic, to help her on her way? Because it's going fairly well so far. Sarah just leapt straight into the conversation tonight with a boa tarde, although it was boa noite. But we can understand the reasons for her working out. But the confidence was there. It was 110%, absolutely. So Nuno, can I ask you first, what's your advice, or do you have a key phrase to give to Sarah that will help her on her way learning Portuguese?
Sarah and it all. So with her smile, unlock any conversation in Portugal.
That was easy. Okay. Sarah, keep smiling when you don't get stressed and anxious, and stop smiling. It's all, and keep up with the confidence. Any particular phrases, Nuno? I mean, we worked with Con licença, desculpa, because British people need to apologize, obrigada, that sort of thing. Anything else you would suggest?
Actually, I'm not remembering any in particular.
Paul K says, where is the bathroom? That could be useful.
Yes.
Yes. La casa de banho.
Casa de banho. Casa de banho.
Casa de banho.
And he, when he said casa de banho, he didn't say it quite like that, did he? It only sounded like one word when it's in fact three.
Casa de banho.
There you go. So there's some useful vocab for you. Thank you very much, Nuno. To you, Queen of the Visas, you must get a lot of this, people asking you for some key phrases of Portuguese on entry into the country. What's your advice to Sarah, Gilda?
Well, my advice is that many people, many of our clients, and even Carl, they don't speak Portuguese, or they are afraid to speak Portuguese because they look at him, he's already read, because they feel embarrassed and they are afraid to fail. But you don't need to be afraid. You need to be confident and keep trying. And because we Portuguese, we feel very proud when everyone is trying to learn our language. We feel very proud. So, boa sorte, Sarah.
Boa sorte, Sarah. There you go. Good luck to you. Sarah, what'd you say?
Obrigada.
Very good. Yes, full house. And Hank says, finally, thank you so much, Gilda, Nuno, and Sarah, for being here tonight. I've never met a Portuguese person, says Hank, who got mad at me for trying Portuguese. Never. Full stop, period. So thank you very much, all of you. Over to you, Jerry. We're a little bit over time. Sorry about that, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Gilda, you reminded me earlier when you were talking about the company name, two companies that I met in my career. One was a company called ANP, and I asked them what that stood for, and they said awfully nice people. So I thought that was quite good. And the other was NFM. And I asked him what that stood for. And he said, no, and then a new word beginning with F, no F miracles.
A realistic, an expectation management company, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Nuno. Thank you, Gilda. Thank you, Carl. On Saturday night at 9 p.m. Lisbon time, we will have the wonderful Hank and Connie social event. Everybody's welcome. Links on the website, so please feel free to join. Lots of chat about all aspects of life in Portugal. So we'd be very welcome to join that. And then next Thursday, we'll be featuring EI at 7:30 to talk about digital nomad visa. I'm not sure whether that'll be you, Gilda, or another member of your excellent team. And then, of course, we will be back again with the Dream Team at 9 p.m. on Thursday. Thank you, everybody. Boa noite. See you in Portugal.
Obrigado e
Boa
boa noite.
noite.